Welcome to the Canadian Music Hall of Fame ceremony presented by Music Canada. Thank you to everyone for joining us here this evening. We are here in beautiful Studio Bell, home of the National Music Centre, to celebrate excellence in music and to honor those who have made their mark throughout their career, not only here at home, but also around the world. 41 years ago, in 1978, Walt Grealis and Stan Cleese, co-founders of the Juno Awards, created the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, and we honored two of Canada's greatest treasures, Guy Lombardo and Oscar Peterson, as the first ever inductees. Tonight, we open the Hall of Fame door to 4 more deserving recipients. They are artists whose extraordinary contributions have inspired us and nourished our souls with beautiful lyrics and music throughout the years. Tonight, we will also be honoring the Music Counts Inspired Minds Ambassador Award, presented by the Canadian Scholarship Trust Foundation to Juno Award nominee and Alberta's own Gord Bamford. Our first presenter this evening is from the Juno Award-winning group Skydiggers, who recently released their 20th album, Let's Get Friendship Right, and are currently on a cross-Canada tour. Please welcome Andy Maize.
All right. So I went to Cowboy Junkies' website to look for some basic info about the band and found a bare bones bio that hadn't been updated since 2008. Which didn't surprise me, for having gotten to know Margo, Michael, Peter, and Alan over the past 30 years. I know that they'd rather be poking themselves in the eye with a sharp stick than talking about themselves. So this is my big chance to let you know that 90 seconds isn't nearly enough time to even begin to scratch the surface of what the Core Four and their most trusted sidekick, Jeff Bird, and a multitude of other collaborators and music makers have accomplished over the last 35 years. For this is a band who've always forged their own path, fiercely independent and uncompromising, carefully guarding their artistic integrity while parlaying a $300 investment, a single microphone, and the haunting acoustics of an old church on a cold November day in 1987 into millions of albums sold worldwide, an international reputation, and a career that is entering its 55th decade. Gordie Howe-like in its longevity. But you don't stay that good for that long without adhering to the basic premise of rock and roll, that playing live is the lifeblood of any true band or artist. From your very first show to the show tonight, from the first time you feel the connection with an audience, to the triumphs and the disappointments, to the endless travel and time away from loved ones, and to the waiting, always the waiting. If you can keep your integrity and connection to one another and your audience alive, then you have, as Michael says, the glue and the fabric of the thing. And this is the band that has proudly done that and continues to do that every night they take the stage to play their unique brand of country blues and folk rock. A true band that sounds like no other, and that no other band sounds like the Cowboy Junkies. Let's have a look.
We didn't want to just be in a band and just sound like somebody else. We wanted to create our own sound, and that was a very important thing for us, to create a vibe, something that was very uniquely ours.
Cowboy Junkies have been uniquely defining themselves for 35 years. The band was formed by childhood friends Margo Timmins and Alan Anton, who recruited 2 more Timmins siblings, Pete on drums and Margo on vocals. As noise complaints brought police to their door, the Junkies adopted the hushed sound they're famous for. Thriving on the energy of playing live together, the band recorded their first album around one mic in their garage. They loved the intimate sound of one mic and repeated the unusual technique for their now legendary Trinity session recording, over 12 hours at Toronto's Church of the Holy Trinity. The next day, Michael and Margo played the tape for their mom.
And my mom, who didn't know very much about music, but she turned to me, she said, "Your life will never be the same." And it never was.
Fiercely independent, Cowboy Junkies released the Trinity Session on their own label. In 1988, the album was a whisper that cut through the noise, and as the band's success grew, record companies came knocking. The Junkies signed, hesitantly.
It was us, and then them, and it was the music first, and then the business. And we've always kept that. It's been a wild year of rock and roll fantasy. And if it ends, you know, we'll go on doing what we did before, and that was just playing music with no one listening.
Sun comes up, it's Tuesday morning.
But there was a massive audience listening, and the Trinity Session sold over 1 million copies.
Took it at full advantage. Like we didn't stop for years. Like it was good 3 or 4 or 5 years where we just toured and recorded nonstop.
The band released their next album, The Caution Horses. They toured with their idol, Townes Van Zandt. They recorded 5 albums in the 90s, sticking to their quiet, introspective vision. 3 albums went gold and 1 went platinum. Then, as the decade changed, so did the music industry, and Cowboy Junkies became an independent band again. But that didn't slow them down, nor weaken their focus.
You know, we make records and we play live. That's sort of what we do, and we just truck along.
The Junkies released 4 more albums and revisited the Trinity Session in 2007, heading back into the church. Following that, they challenged themselves with the Nomad series, releasing 4 albums over 2 years. Never wavering from their vision, after a 6-year break from recording, they released 2018's All That Reckoning.
All that reckoning had led me back to you.
For me, our proudest accomplishment is that we're still together, and that we're still enjoying what we do and putting out, I consider, really good music after 35 years. It's not easy, but we've worked hard at it, and we can still sit in the same room, kind of.
Mine is not too much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first inductees of the night, Cowboy Junkies. Woo! That's right.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks.
Didn't know where you went. All right. They say I have to make a speech now. I'd rather sing. Up until yesterday, I had the classic thank you to the Academy speech already, the one that I've been practicing in the mirror since I was 14. Of course, in my practicing, I was holding the Oscar. But I'm no longer 14, and now that this big day has arrived, I want to talk about something else other than the classic thank you speech. I want to talk about something that's important to me, and that's how in our industry it just seems that women are so poorly represented. And the change for this speech came about because I had a conversation with my son, who's 16. He came home the other day, and he told me that in history they were studying the suffragette women and how they went to prison and they were trying to get the vote. And he said, it just sounds really insane, Mom. Why didn't the men just give them the vote? And so I tried to explain, that in those days they thought women weren't too intelligent and that these men didn't want to give up their power and their control and that they were afraid of change. And as I talked, I thought, oh God, this is so crazy. So I turned to my son and I said, look, think of it this way. In those days, the world was one big boys' club and the girls were not allowed. And as I said that to him, I began to think, this is really nuts. And really, although a lot has changed, a lot hasn't. So I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this speech. It got me thinking that I have spent 3 decades in this business. Most of it I've been on the road, and I can count on my fingers the number of women who I have seen working as lighting, sound, monitor techs, guitar or drum techs, loaders, riggers, drivers, booking agents or promoters, tour production and band members, band managers, not to mention the senior staff of record labels. Most of them, men. To me, there's something wrong. I know we would all like to think that a boys' club does not exist in our industry, but just look around you. Even tonight, there are 10 inductees and 1 woman. And by my count, after tonight, there will be around 100 men and 10 women in the Hall of Fame. That's not right. I know that there are many men and women in our industry who struggle every day to create change, and to you, I give you my respect and my support. But there are also many women and men who think that with time, things will become equal and all will be well eventually. And perhaps they're right. But what I say to that is if you are thinking in this way, that you have to remember as we wait, the next generation of talented and creative women will be asked or allowed to join our industry by going through the side door. The way that women have entered the world of men for centuries, and it's just wrong. So all I ask is that you people who are here, who are so powerful, you lead our industry, to think about it, and that somehow we have to bring in more women, allow our daughters to know that if they want to be riggers, sound engineers, lighting, techs, they can do it, and they can join us on the road. Now I know right now the boys are panicking and thinking that Marg's gone rogue and when will she stop? What's going on? So I'm going to end this speech by saying thank you. The boys and I realize that as a band, you cannot exist or find any kind of success if you're working in a void. And over the years, we've come across many wonderful people who have brought a genuine value and talent into our world. And without them, we would not be here. People like Mr. Jeff Bird, John Farnsworth, to all of you We owe such a great deal of thanks. Playing music is what we do. It feeds our souls. We would do it if you weren't listening, or if you are listening, we just do it. But to have it acknowledged that you have been listening is the greatest gift you could have given us. So we thank you very, very much. We'll see you on the road.
Pretty wow, huh? Congratulations, Margo, Michael, Peter, and Alan. So, I was still in high school when you had just formed your band and were first just making your way on the scene. And I remember thinking, who are these people? Their sound is so different, so intimate. The voice is so gentle, but oh, the lyrics. So I was studying classical voice at the time. I was really into it. And I was experimenting with my sound, and I thought to myself, do like Cowboy Junkies. Just sing your words. Just sing your words. And I also love that even though I was and am a classical singer, that I was able to learn something from you. And it stuck with me. So please join me in warmly welcoming the Cowboy Junkies with a performance of Common Disaster from their 6th studio album, Lay It Down.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing, beautiful performance. And you can still achieve intimacy while making a big noise. It's just incredible. That is so rare. Thank you, Cowboy Junkies. Congratulations again. To introduce our next inductees, please welcome a rock music icon whose songs are known and sung around the world and on a few sticky tabletops as well. He's been inducted not once, but twice into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, both as a member of the Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive. BTO, baby. And he continues to tour the world with the Randy Bachman Band. You can hear him spin his favorite tunes and share stories from his life on the road and in the studio on his show, Vinyl Tap, on CBC Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Bachman.
Hello, everyone. To quote Don McLean, a long, long time ago, I was aware of a band called The Collectors. And I believe Bill Henderson was part of that band. And they were legendary. I was in Winnipeg. They were legendary up and down the West Coast. And then something happened. They broke up or they dissolved or something. I left the Guess Who in the summer of 1970 and wondered what was I going to do next. And in Winnipeg, there was a thing called Man Pop. And it was August 23rd, 1970, $5.50 to get in. I was without a band, so I went to that show. It was at the Winnipeg Stadium Arena. And on that show was Iron Butterfly, Ides of March, Led Zeppelin, and Chilliwack. I knew there was life after the Collectors for Bill Henderson with Chilliwack. And I proceeded onward and started BTO after my life with the Guess Who. There's not many bands where you could focus it down to somebody who writes the songs, sings the songs, plays guitar, and kind of puts the whole thing together. And he's the quarterback of the team. He can't do a lot without the great team. So you need these shoulders to stand on. You need the guys to block the punches and let you be the star, let you be the hero. So congratulations to the whole band, the guys who come and gone with Chilliwack, and to Bill Henderson. A little while ago, I was being interviewed in England, and the interviewer said to me, "What are your favorite Canadian bands?" And I said, "Well, what are yours?" And he said, "Do you know the band Chilliwack?" And I said, "Do you mean Chilliwack?" And he said, "No, I mean Chilliwack." And I said, "I think you mean Chilliwack." And so we had a little argument over that. I didn't know it could be said that way. But the name has a great meaning, and the music has great meaning. Bill Henderson and I were neighbors for many years in Salt Spring Island. Recently, I did a Vinyl Tap radio show featuring the 4 Bills. And it was Bill Withers, Billy Idol, Billy Joel, and Bill Henderson. Bill Henderson did okay on that show. His songs stood up with all the other of the great Bills. So I want to present to you, and congratulations to Chilliwack and the whole band, to Bill Henderson, and thrown out to the video.
Chilliwack rose from the ashes of Vancouver's psychedelic rock band, The Collectors. Led by guitarist and singer Bill Henderson, Chilliwack loved to improvise.
And I always felt that jazz is about improvisation, and I felt you can do that with any music, and that's what we did. At a certain point you go, I can't do this anymore. I gotta do something else.
Chilliwack wanted to focus more on structured songwriting. The lineup changed, and the band had hits with Lonesome Mary and Crazy Talk.
Crazy talk.
The move to songwriting was paying off. In 1977, Chilliwack struck platinum with their 6th album, Dreams, 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 featuring the hit songs Baby Blue, California Girl, and Fly at Night. The band followed up with 1978's Lights from the Valley. Arms of Mary was the most successful single. But the best result of the album was the addition of Brian Too Loud McLeod as the lineup changed again and he added prodigious guitar, keyboard, and production skills.
And just a monster of energy, goodwill, and talent.
In 1981, Henderson and McLeod found their stride as songwriting partners and released Wanna Be a Star, featuring the band's biggest song, My Girl, Gone, Gone, Gone.
For the last 10 years, they've been one of Canada's top bands, and now they're taking the United States by storm.
Chilliwack received Juno nominations for My Girl and won for their next album, Opus 10.
Producer of the Year, Bill Henderson and Brian McLeod, Chilliwack.
We worked like crazy on it. We worked real hard.
But Henderson and McLeod went their separate ways. Chilliwack recorded their last album and went on a club tour.
The clubs in Canada were awful. I'd had enough of the whole business of Chilliwack and just put it on the shelf. 10 years later, I really missed the bass and drums and the punch of it. Opportunities started to arise because classic rock radio had started up.
Henderson got the band back together, and Chilliwack has been going strong ever since.
This band has had somewhere around 30 people in it. The Hall of Fame is an opportunity to thank them for the work that they did. And thanks to all the fans who did so much to support the group. We had great fun together. Yeah.
If there's no audience, there just ain't no show.
That kind of says it all. If there ain't no audience, there ain't no show. I'd like to present this to Chilliwack, also known as Chilliwack. Come on up, guys.
Thank you so much. Come on. Wow, okay, so
here we are.
I always like to pause before I speak to the audience. Just let it, feel it. So, we thank Karis and the Canadian Music Hall of Fame for this great honor. Chilliwack, or Chilliwack, means as far as you can go with a canoe, and is the name taken long ago by the first people of the Chilliwack River watershed. And we're still trying to see how far we can go with our canoe, and tonight's a wonderful opportunity for me to thank all 36 of the musicians who've helped make this journey happen. Yeah. First, the one standing here in front of you. So I want to thank Claire Lawrence, the great sax and flute player. He was an inspiration to me since the mid-'60s when we first started working together in the Collectors. The What Love Suite, What Love. Rain, oh, fall upon the earth. Ooh, lonesome Mary. They were all part of our work, our fun. So, and I really want to thank Ab Bryant, great rock bass player and member of the triumvirate of Ab, Brian McLeod, and myself that turned the band around in 1979, creating our biggest hits, My Girl, I Believe, What You Gonna Do. Ab kept the party going. He kept the band together, I think. It was very cool. And I really want to thank the longest lasting version of the band, which is the current band. We've been playing together for about 20 years. So, where are you, Jerry? Jerry Adolph, drummer, groove master. Member since 1985, 34 years rocking together. Gord Maxwell, I want to thank Gord, Chilliwack's most recent member. He's a great bass player, go-to session singer on the West Coast, and he's a deep musician. And to Ed Henderson, my brother, an amazing guitarist and composer who plays and writes many different styles of music, from tango to modern choir music to rock. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, Billy. Yeah. Thanks, Bill. And I don't want to leave behind the man on the mixing board at the back there. He's our live mixer sound artist, who we also consider a member of the band, Jeff Goddard. Woo! Yeah. And of course, huge thanks to Brian McLeod, a big-hearted, generous guy, and one of the most talented musicians I've ever met. Brian's untimely passing in 1992 cut short the career trajectory of a major star in rock music. Thanks to Brian. Thanks to Howard Froese, who re-energized the band in 1974 with his soulful slide guitar playing and helpfully high vocals. Howard improvised the classic acoustic guitar solo on Baby Blue. Unfortunately, he also is no longer with us. To Glenn Miller and Ross Turney, bass player and drummer of Chilliwack's first rhythm section, both have passed on. Ross and I piloted the band in the mid-'70s. We co-produced a number of the Chilliwack albums, including Dreams, 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 which featured Fly at Night, Baby Blue, and California Girl. And if you want to hear some really ballsy bass playing, listen to Glenn kick off the introduction to the What Love Suite. Yeah, it's a treat. I want to thank John Rolls, acoustic electric guitar player, stratospheric vocals, a sweet guy. John wishes he could be here today and is looking forward to something nice to put on his mantle. To Ashley Mulford, who helped me write the songs for Chilliwack's last studio album, Look In, Look Out, and was the main writer on Don't Stop, which was the lead single from that album. Thanks also to 23 other musicians and singers who made important contributions to the band over the years: Joan, Robbie, Bob, Jamie, Dub, Skip, Bucky, Rick, and Joe, Simon, Richard, Roy, and Mark, Glenn, Dennis, Paul, and Mo, Tom, Robbie, Nuke, and Lee, and Saffron and Camille. That's it. Thank you. "50 years and this canoe is still afloat." Let's play. Play some music.
So isn't the passage of time an incredible thing? Right? Where does the time go? So many years of touring, gigs, different cities, all-night diners, my personal favorite, and so many faces, and so many different haircuts. Like, seriously, Bill, I counted like 10 different looks in that video alone. And I'm also going to confess that I totally had a crush on Bill back in the day. I was in high school. Good voice, good face, which is a super reminder that you never know where you're going to end up in life, because now that voice and that face are right here, and now your lives have brought you here. So when I first heard about your induction, all I could think of was, oh my God, yes, all those hits, Reno, Crazy Talk, My Girl. I was the girl, by the way. Don't Stop. So now, once again, you've got an audience. So I guess it's time to put on a show.
For a man in a rock and roll band, fly at night, in the morning we land. Fly at night till we're satisfied, see the morning from the other side. And when you close your eyes. Sleep comes fast when you fly that you never sweated. You need some rest, yeah. You need some rest. Ooh, we like the blue white spaces. Yeah, we like to see your faces. Time is just a rubber band. Time is at our command. And when we look out, you see you there. You see much closer, yeah, yeah. You feel so near, yeah. You feel so near. When we fly by night, it's like a rocket flying, baby, that's just what it's for. When we fly by night, it makes you feel alright. You keep coming back for more. When we fly at night, it's like a rocket flying, baby, that's just what it's for. Yeah, we fly at night, it makes you feel alright. You keep coming back for more. For a man in a rock and roll band, fly at night, in the morning we land. Fly at night till we're satisfied. See the morning from the other side. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm fangirling so hard right now. That was terrific. Incredible performance. Chilliwack, thank you. Music Counts is Canada's music education charity associated with CARIS. And they believe that music can help kids communicate, lessen barriers, and encourage positive development. 100%. I'm sure many of tonight's award recipients got their start in music class. I did. And if kids didn't have access to the benefits of music education, we might not even have a Hall of Fame. That's why Music Counts puts instruments into the hands of kids who need them most of all across Canada. Music Counts is able to help thousands of kids from coast to coast to coast, thanks to the support of artists and the music community. Here to tell you more, our Executive Director of Music Counts, Christy Fletcher, and President and CEO of the Canadian Scholarship Trust Foundation, Sherry MacDonald.
At Music Counts, we believe that music adds possibilities, and all kids should have access to music education. Since 1997, we've been supporting music programs in schools and communities all across Canada. We could not do this work without the incredible support of partners like the Canadian Scholarship Trust Foundation and music education ambassadors who give us their time, resources, and expertise.
Thanks, Christy. The Canadian Scholarship Trust Foundation is really thrilled to create a better life by providing equal access to learning, and we all know that learning opportunities include music for young people across Canada. The Music Counts Inspired Minds Ambassador Award is presented by the Canadian Scholarship Foundation and Music Counts, and it recognizes an individual who has had a profound and lasting impact on Music Counts and its work. We are really excited to recognize Gord Bamford with this year's award. Yes. For his unwavering support of Music Counts, music education, and a commitment to creating opportunities for youth.
Gord is genuine, humble, and truly believes in giving back. He doesn't just talk the talk, he commits his time and resources to make a difference. Since 2014, Gord has donated $200,000 to Music Counts through his foundation. Right. This is the largest donation by an artist in the history of our charity, and we're so thankful and excited for the opportunities this has created. Gord has also lent his time to help us inspire the next generation of musicians and creators. He's joined us at school celebrations and music class, and also sponsored the 2014 Music Counts Teacher of the Year Award, even helping us surprise the teacher in person. These are just a few of the reasons we're thrilled to celebrate Gord as the Music Counts Inspired Minds Ambassador Award recipient tonight. Thank you, Gord, and the Gord Bamford Foundation. Together, we've created opportunities for 1,000 more children to experience the life-changing benefits of music. Please direct your attention to the screen.
I can't explain how this thing evolved into what it is. It's just mind-blowing, really, and obviously something for me that I'm extremely proud of.
I consider Gord a business partner, and I'm honored to say a friend. Gord loves his family, loves his fans, on certain days loves me, not all of them, and feels the need to spread love, and that is what certainly motivates his willingness to give back.
Gord's contributions have helped us support thousands of students right across Canada. There's been no other artist who has supported Music Counts in such a significant way.
I remember Gord talking to me, and when he told me what he was about to do, you know, my jaw dropped, and I think the only jaw that might have dropped even further would have been when he called Alan Reed and told him that he was going to donate $100,000.
I was absolutely stunned. Like, no artist that we've ever worked with, no one has ever written a check like that before. The date, you know, Gord has given Music Counts for $200,000.
There were a huge fleet of instruments that had been there since late 60s. Barely any of them worked. So I spent a large portion of my class time just trying to piece together workable instruments. Then after I got the grant, it kind of cleared up my time to focus on teaching music.
A lot of the areas where we focus our money have definitely had an impact on my life somewhere. Our little girl Memphis, when she was born with a very bad defect. What those doctors did in Calgary that day was, it's a little tough to talk about, was incredible. And ever since that day, I had a whole new respect for who heroes in life really were. There's some unbelievable stories of courage and healing that have come from music, and I've seen it firsthand. The legacy we want to build when we're done with all this is the fact that we've given back to many different people across Canada, and most importantly, made an impact on children and their lives.
The work that he has done has really helped us further our mandate of supporting music education in schools. Generosity begets generosity. So when other artists see what he's doing to get involved, it really inspires them to do the same thing.
I truly believe that Gord is the absolute right person to receive this award.
Congratulations, Gord Bamford, on your award, and thank you, Gord Bamford and Music Counts, for inspiring the next generation of music makers.
I love the stories that come out of it. I love the smiles on the people's faces. I just encourage artists to go out there and give back. I think if we do more of that, our country's going to be better off, and we're going to, hopefully create some more Celine Dion's in Canada, or Gord Bamford's, whatever.
Please join us in congratulating the 2019 Music Counts Inspired Minds Ambassador, Gord Bamford.
Thanks. That looks like a Juno. It's close as I've got to one. So, I've been at the party though. It was good. Well, this is. I grew up down the road here, about an hour and a half. It's north of here in Lacombe, Alberta, and I didn't think this was what this was going to be tonight. So. I'm pretty inspired by all the people that have been up here talking, and I don't even feel like I even deserve to be here after seeing what I've been seeing. So, and for the record, I have a bunch of women that work in my band, and I think that you're exactly right here tonight. And they're the easiest people to deal with. In fact, my bass player has been the bass player of the year for the last 3 years in Canada. She's world class, and she just wants to know when we're going on tours. So I think that was right, so thanks for saying that. Thank you, Christy and Music Counts, and thanks, Sherry and the Canadian Scholarship Trust Foundation. I'm truly honored for this recognition. As I think back on where my journey all started in this business, it's hard to believe that all this stuff seems real to me. I gotta say, I'm truly fortunate and thankful to be able to live my dream. And most importantly, love my job every day I wake up. The music business has been very good to me and my family. I want to talk a little bit about the word foundation tonight and what it means to me. I truly believe that this particular word is the start of anything in life. You want to build a house, you need a foundation. When you write a song, you need the idea, you need the title, you need the hook, you need that foundation. When you roll down the road and play your songs for the whole country, you need a band, you need a bus driver, you need a sound man, you need a tour manager, etc. You need a foundation. When you want the whole world to hear your songs, you need people that believe in them, and you work hard for them. They work hard for you. They get them heard. You need that foundation. I want to help better the lives of Canadians and children, make a difference in the community. And I couldn't do that without a foundation of people who believe in that like I do. Access to music can be life-changing for a kid, whether or not they continue to pursue it. It can help them build confidence, communicate, and forge friendships. That's why I'm honored to support an organization like Music Counts through my foundation. And together, we can improve the lives of Canadians and Canadian children. A lot of these people I speak about as part of the foundation, personally and in my career, are sitting here tonight in this room. And I want to thank you for the love, advice, encouragement, criticism, and praise you've all given me to this point in my career and in my life to succeed. If you're a person in this room here tonight that has been in any way part of this, can you please stand? And I mean from a handshake to a person who's bought a ticket to a concert, or someone who has given me advice along the way, or anybody I've had the pleasure to work with, or somebody I met here tonight. If you can, just please stand up. That would make my night here. If there's a light, just shine the light out there tonight so I can see people. There's a lot of people standing up, and that's what a foundation's all about. And just to name a few, Warren, thanks for that tonight on that video. Warren and I go back over decades, and with Sony, and Warren and Shane Carter at Sony Music, who've literally let me do what I want to do with my career. It's been amazing. We don't get along all the time, but that's why I have the control and you don't. So. So that's been good. But it's just been an awesome relationship, and thank you guys for that. And Alan Reed, Christy Fletcher at Music Counts, thanks for taking that beer in that hotel, Alan, and explaining to me what you were doing. And you must have known I liked beer when we set that meeting. But I appreciate you reaching out to me to support you, and it's been an honor to be a part of the whole family here. So I want to thank a guy that's not here tonight, who's a good friend of mine, Brian Helbert. Him and I did a lot of business together, and we parted ways. You know, as the music business changes, people change, and you know, once we realize we don't know what we're doing anymore, we have to find people that can. And unfortunately, he couldn't stand on stage and sing, so he's not here anymore. But he's a big part of the foundation. Not here tonight, I want to thank him, and I'm excited about our new venture, taking most of the year off this year. Just recorded 37 new songs, which is weird because the albums don't sell anymore, so why would you do that? We bucked the system. And I'm excited about it, recorded right here in Calgary. Everything's Canadian made, and I got a new guy working with me now who's here tonight, Max. Been working with me since March, and he's been changing the game, so thanks, Mac. I look forward to lots of great things with you. I'm a bit of a baby, but my grandma's here tonight, and yeah. And when you want to talk about foundation, you talk about where it starts from. And my grandpa passed away years ago. My grandma's trying to stand up. We've looked after her. She is. Yeah. My grandma just celebrated her 90th birthday, so that was a good celebration. And it always starts from the top. And my grandpa always you know, instilled this work ethic in everybody. He's a rodeo cowboy and farmer, and he always just wanted you to treat people the way you want to be treated. So he instilled that, and I'm glad my grandma's here tonight. I don't know how many times I drove up and down the road to try and get to whatever, a music festival or a talent search, but my mom was always there to drive me up and down the road, and she's here tonight too, so thanks. And if you ever want to get in a Caesar drinking contest with her, you'll lose. My mother-in-law, who couldn't make it, Norma, and probably my biggest foundation of all, my children aren't here tonight, but my wife and I got up here a couple hours before the event. My son was playing hockey in Red Deer, and he's just been drafted by the Kamloops Blazers, so we're proud of him. Yeah, so and my daughter Paisley, who's an up-and-coming troublemaker and singer, a woman in the business, which is awesome, and my little daughter Paisley. But this is my first date night in about nine months, because my wife's been running all over the place, and after 4 dress changes and 6 different pairs of shoes and 1.5 arguments, she's here tonight, and she just celebrated her birthday, and I just want to tell you, it doesn't matter what you're wearing for dresses or shoes, you're beautiful, and you are the biggest foundation of all. So thank you so much. And thanks to Music Counts, this has been a pretty cool night for me, seeing everybody and getting to meet, and I ran into Randy Bachman, backstage, and that was pretty cool. And like I said, a kid coming from Lacombe, an hour and a half up the road, who was feeding cattle about 20 years ago and never dreamt to be here tonight. So we're proud to be part of Music Counts. We look forward to many more years of supporting you. And I want to thank our girl, last but not least, the girl that makes it all work with our foundation. We raised over $4 million now in the last 12 years, and it just would not happen without Corrine Sepashy, who's here tonight. And, you talk about somebody that's putting everything together, and I get to stand up here and receive this award and do all this great stuff and talk about how great I am, but it doesn't even hold a candle to all you guys. So thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, Gord, and congratulations. Wow, $200,000. That's incredible. Thank you again for your commitment to music education. Our next presenter is known as one of the greatest songwriters of his generation. He began releasing records of his own material at the age of 21 and has since recorded 15 albums, with his latest album set to sail this coming spring. Please warmly welcome 3-time Juno Award winner, Ron Sexsmith.
Oh, there it is. Hello. I was actually a bit surprised when they asked me to do this, because the last time I inducted anyone, it was Katie Lang into the Walk of Fame. And I couldn't read the teleprompter. I didn't have my glasses, so I got the year of her birth wrong by 2 decades in the wrong direction. So she laughed. Thankfully, she laughed. So I'm happy to be here, to be given the second chance. But mostly, how does Donald Trump do this? I'm trying to figure out. But mostly, I'm delighted to be inducting the great Bobby Curtola into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Long overdue, yeah. I met Bobby just once, a few years back at the Andy Kim Christmas show. I was up in the artist viewing area, and Bobby came right over to me. As surprised as I was that he knew me, the thing that struck me was how genuinely surprised he seemed to be that I knew him. I told him when I was a kid, I really loved that song, Fortune Teller. You can see it all in, I just thought it was great, he had like the Platters or something, I loved it. And, but back at that time, I would also hear Andy Kim, look at you, baby, look at me. I would hear that. I would hear Chilliwack, she talks crazy talk, she can make a man. The Cowboy Junkies weren't a band yet, but if they were, I would have heard, misguided angel, love you till I'm dead. I would have heard that. Never hear myself on the radio, however, but that's another matter. All right. Back then I was obsessed with singers and phrasing, and I still am. It was a time of real singers, long before this epidemic of oversinging and affectation and auto-tune. And Bobby Curtola was a real singer. And a few days after meeting him, I did a version of Fortune Teller on my YouTube channel, where I've done thousands of cover songs, mostly in my bathrobe, actually. And I was honored to hear that at a recent memorial for Bobby, they actually played my video. It's all quite surreal. And although we all wish Bobby could have been here tonight to receive this honor, I'm mostly grateful that he will soon be joining all the other greats currently residing in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. So he was a true pioneer and truly deserving of this honor. So have a look at the screen and you'll see what I mean.
Fortune teller, can you see?
He was the Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber.
Going to be
Canada's first teenage idol was a good-looking kid from Thunder Bay named Bobby Curtola.
I've been waiting.
Curtola was pumping gas at his dad's garage and playing with his high school band, Bobby and the Bobcats, when he recorded his first single, Hand in Hand with You.
Hand in hand with you.
That song made Bobby Curtola instantly famous, getting national radio play and selling thousands of copies. Curtola opened for Bob Hope in Winnipeg and started touring across Canada and releasing more big hits.
I'm a hitchhiker on the road to love.
Curtola Mania was coined for the frenzy that awaited Bobby on each stop of his tour. In 1962, Curtola released Fortune Teller, his biggest hit, which also made him a household name in the U.S.
Fortune teller, is she free? Has she waited?
Fortune Teller sold 2.5 million copies, and Bobby hit the road with Dick Clark's Cavalcade of Stars, toured England, and met the Beatles.
He was a trailblazer. You know, he sold 1 million records with Fortune Teller in the US, but he still remained in Canada. He waved that Canadian flag everywhere he went.
Get myself a sugar water.
In 1964, Coca-Cola came calling, looking for a spokesman. Curtola recorded a jingle that sounded like a top 40 hit.
Bobby Curtola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
We got it.
Curtola's success rolled through the 60s as he recorded 25 Canadian gold singles and 12 gold albums. But Curtola's greatest skill was his ability to connect with his fans.
Bobby's greatest characteristic was loving people authentically. That was his key, to be able to just say, forget about your problems. Let's just have fun for an hour here.
Here is Bobby Curtola.
In 1972, Curtola went Vegas, becoming the first Canadian to sign a multi-million-dollar deal. Curtola got married in 1975 and had 2 boys shortly after. He continued to tour the world with his family and eventually left Vegas for Edmonton, wanting a change of pace. Throughout his life, Curtola also used his fame to raise money for various charities and host telethons, and he received the Order of Canada in 1998. Sadly, Curtola passed away suddenly in 2016, before he could be honored with this induction.
He would have been extremely humble and very appreciative, because he worked so hard. It was his life, it was his passion. He really did make a difference in Canadian music.
Boy, I tell you, I'm a lucky guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Bobby's sons, Michael and Christopher Curtola. It's heavy. All right. Wow. Heavy.
Walking with My Angel. Yeah, that was a fitting song. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. What an honor. We want to take the time today to thank all the people who helped make this day happen. First, starting off with Alan Reed, Larry LeBlanc, the Induction Committee for all their hard work. And we know that if Dad was here, he would like to thank also Basil and Dyer Hurden, his managers and songwriters, Maria Martel, his agent and our grandmother.
He would also like to thank his family, who is here today. Our mother, Ava,
my daughters, Quinn and Parker, my wife, Ashley. Yes, babe, that's you. His brother, Gary, and his family, Anita, Brad, and Jody. His influential mom and his dad, and his true friends that supported him along the way, many of whom are here today. And of course, the number one thing you want to say thank you to is the fans.
He always said when you get to the top of the mountain, you only have a minute to look around and breathe it in. And then it was time for him to go down and let the next person go up. Well, Dad, you got to the mountain again. Not bad for a kid from Port Arthur, Ontario.
Yeah. You know, if Dad was here today, he would tell you that he's such a lucky guy like he did in the video, and that his life actually was a dream come true. And it's all thanks to you. His legacy, of course, was his music. Both of us, but to those of us that knew him, it was much more than that. His true legacy was all the people he touched in this world. Our dad always took the time to make someone's day, to sign that last autograph in a 3-hour lineup. He infectiously spread what the world needs more of now, love.
His work with charities, the less fortunate, and how he truly cared about his fans and the people he met will no doubt be his legacy. Tonight, all of us here welcome him into the Hall of Fame as a pioneer and a trailblazer in Canadian music. But you know what? He was already there. He was already there in the Hall of Fame of life because of who he touched and how he changed so many lives for the better.
One of the life lessons me and Chris learned was our father said that one person can change the world. Each of us can leave our mark by connecting and caring for people. Tonight, Dad, it all culminates in you officially being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Pops. You deserve it. And we know you're shining down and smiling at us tonight. We know you're there.
So once again, thanks to every person that made this possible. From the entire Curtola family, we are very humbled and truly grateful for this honor. And from the bottom of Bobby's heart, we really thank you. Because of this, his spirit will live on in music history. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Honestly, what a couple of dolls. Congratulations to the entire Curtola family. And now, to honor Bobby, here's Ron Sexsmith with Bobby Curtola's Fortune Teller.
Fortune teller, can you see what my future's gonna be? Can you see it all in your crystal ball? Do you have a dream for me? Fortune teller, is she free? Has she waited just for me? Can you see it all in your crystal ball? Tell me if it's meant to be. Will we meet on a busy corner? Will she know that I'm the one? Will I be like little Jack Horner? Get myself a sugar plum? Fortune teller, will she stay close beside me all the way? You have seen it all in your crystal ball. She's the only love for me. Will we meet on a busy corner? Will she know that I'm the one? Will I be like little Jack Horner? Get myself a sugar plum? Fortune teller, will she stay close beside me all the way? You have seen it all in your crystal ball. hard to find a dream, you see. Whoa, whoa, she's the only love for me.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know our next presenter as a bare-naked lady. That was you, not me. Or should I say, co-founder and lead singer of the Bare-Naked Ladies. Last year, the band celebrated their 30th anniversary. They are one of Canada's most celebrated collectives, and in 2018, were inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Please welcome the dashing and gracious Ed Robertson.
Please sit down. Sit down. You will hear a lot tonight about the remarkable accomplishments, the sales records, the relevance, the incredibly fancy people he's influenced, and all of that is super important. Andy Kim is a brightly woven thread that runs for decades, half a century, through the great tapestry of Canadian music and music all over the world. I'm just going to tell you about the very first time I met Andy and the reason I will love him forever. Bare-Naked Ladies were asked to collaborate with Andy Kim for a charity concert in Toronto called Kumbaya. We were in the midst of tons of touring at the time. We had about 5 days off leading up to the performance, and Andy asked if we could schedule 3 rehearsals. Bare-Naked Ladies have a long-running joke that we can't even say the word rehearsal. It's like when Fonzie is trying to apologize. If we have a TV show or something coming up, we go, do you guys think we should we maybe get together and We just don't like to do it. But Andy was super nervous. And so leading up to the show, I said, look, we're going to play it exactly like the record. If you sing it like the record, it's going to be great. But I said, look, if you're nervous, I'll get together with you. We can run through it a few times. So Steve Page and myself met Andy Kim at the Ultrasound Show Bar one sunny afternoon and started to run through the song. So I started the guitar line. Do-do-dum, do-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum, do-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum, do-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum. Andy's bobbing his head. There's 3 people in a club around a bar table. And then he just explodes. He goes, ain't it good? Ain't it right that you are with me here tonight? I was so freaked out. He was so engaged. It was actually a little uncomfortable. I thought for a second, wait a minute, did you write this song about me? By the time he hit the chorus, 3 people in a club, he kicked his chair back behind him, stood up, and pounded on the table. Rock me gently, rock me slowly, take it easy, don't you know? It was the most exciting, scary, hilarious, endearing moment. I realized that Andy Kim has exactly 2 gears. He has the warm, kind, wonderful soul so many of us have come to know and love, and he has the performer. There is no halfway. The joy I felt from him, the genuine excitement to be making music in any setting was contagious. It made me love him immediately, and I always will.
I went to New York on a dream. I was lucky to be ignorant enough and confident enough to believe that someone would hear something
Andy Kim left Montreal as a teenager with dreams of stardom. In New York, he sweet-talked his way into the Brill Building and had a meeting with a legendary producer and musician.
Meeting Jeff Barry really changed my life. I came in, 2-chord song. How'd we ever get this way?
Kim and Barry cut a hit single, and Kim was on the road to success.
So shoot 'em up, baby.
He followed up with a string of hits.
Shoot 'em up, baby.
As the 60s lost its innocence, Kim and Barry wrote a love song that contrasted with the heavy political climate. Radio stations were reluctant to play a cartoon band, but the song was the perfect antidote for turbulent times and went to #1 for 4 weeks.
It was being played so much that my friends would call me up and said if they heard that song one more time, they'd come over and break my fingers so I couldn't write again.
In 1970, Kim won the first Juno Award for Male Vocalist of the Year, but then he dropped off the charts.
We all have peaks and valleys, and I went to about a good 2.5 years of a valley that I didn't think I was going to come out of, and about 6 months ago, I recorded a song called Rock Me Gently.
Rock me gently, rock me slowly.
Without having a record label and without a producer, I became the songwriter, publisher, producer, and after everybody turned me down, I became the record company.
Sure enough, Rock Me Gently went to #1 and sold millions. On the advice of his manager, Kim changed his name to Baron Longfellow in the late 70s, put out a couple of albums, and got another Juno nomination for his song, Amour.
Baron Longfellow for Amour.
A lot of people think after I put out those couple of albums under Baron Longfellow that I retired. Well, the truth is I became irrelevant. But I never felt rejected. I just felt they just didn't get it. So I continue to live my life.
But in 1995, Kim met the Bare Naked Ladies and discovered he was still loved by his peers. He co-wrote a song with Ed Robertson.
For me, when I first spoke to Ed on the phone, it was the beginning of something. I didn't know what it was.
Rejuvenated, Kim released new music and started his Christmas charity show, now in its 15th year. The community embraced him once again. Kim had left for a while, but his music hadn't.
I always wanted to be in the playground of artists, sculptors, painters. I just wanted to be part of it. Didn't want to own it, didn't want to be the king of it. I just wanted to be there.
Come on. Folks, give it up for the least jaded person you will ever meet. My friend Andy Kim. Come on. Look what you did.
Oh, thank you, Ed. You know, I never thought I'd get here. But you know, Ed, your love and inspiration gave me a second kick of the can, and I thank you so much. Michelangelo said, I saw the angel in the marble and kept cutting until I set him free. And me, I saw my life in the depths of a dream, and my imagination kept on dreaming until that life set me free. With $40 in my pockets, I boarded a Montreal bus that took me to the heart of New York City, where I did not know a soul, on a quest to find the songwriters and producers that filled my transistor radio and my heart with the magic of a world only dreams are made of. It was a quest that I needed in my life because my life depended on it. And I truly can't believe my fate. Here I am in Calgary at the National Music Center, accepting the honor of being inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, along with Bobby Curtola, Chilliwack, Cowboy Junkies. All I ever wanted to do was to write songs, make records, and travel the world. Live a life that's bigger than my reality. A guitar and a song, that's all I ever needed. I can strap that guitar around my shoulder, and I'm on the journey of a lifetime. A few weeks ago, when the names of the inductees were announced, some wrote me and said, "It's about time." Some congratulated me and said, "Good job." And some completely ignored my existence. It's all okay, because somewhere deep inside, I've always believed one thing. I don't know where it came from, but the power of it all cascades within me forever. God will always be on time. Not my time, not your time, but God's time. You see, that's made it easier for me. I never looked over my shoulder. I never envied anybody, and I was never jealous. Because you see, I've always believed that we needed to live our own lives, not someone else's. So I take this moment to thank everybody at Canadian Radio for bringing my music to those who thought I was American and reminded everyone that I'm Canadian. Ed, thank you again. You and Jeff Barry helped my dreams come true. And thank you, Ron Sexsmith. Great job, by the way, Ron. Kevin Drew and Sam Roberts, Alex Fleifson, Eric Alper, Dave Pierce, and my brother Joseph for reminding me that I've always been part of Canada's musical landscape. Alan Reid, your stewardship has enlightened Karis. You are the right person at the right time. Thank you. I've never been this nervous in all my life. Thank you for those who voted for us, believing that we had the right to be here. And please remember, times go by so fast. Everyone moving in and out of your life. So please remember to tell them how much you care about them and how much they mean to you. And forgiveness. In this world, forgiveness is running on rare oxygen. Please take forgiveness and make it a part of your vocabulary. And I love you, Summer. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is for you, Ed.
Andy, I am thrilled to meet you. I remember my young mother singing Sugar Sugar to me as a child, as a little Lebanese kid growing up in Ottawa. So it looks like we have something in common. Cousin! Habibi! But it's not only that. Even though I was born in Ottawa, just knowing that a Lebanese performer had hit the big time sent the message that a little chubby kid of Lebanese immigrants with big hair and a big voice could possibly make it too. I was going to, okay, go ahead. If you must. I was gonna make you some tabbouleh and hummus just in case you wanted a taste of home, but they wouldn't let me on the plane with it. So performing his hit song, Rock Me Gently, which topped the US charts in 1974. Please welcome the newest inductee into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, Andy Kim.
So rock me gently, rock me slowly, take it easy, don't you know that I have never been loved like this before. Ain't it good, ain't it right, that you are with me here tonight?
Take it easy.
Family, thank you so much.